Okay, well, I'm delighted to be joined by Richard Thaler, who's just spoken to a packed great room about his fantastic book, Nudge. Richard, very briefly, what is the core of the nudge hypothesis?
The nudge hypothesis is that it's possible to help people make better decisions without forcing anybody to do anything, simply by giving them a gentle nudge.
And give us one example of what this means in practice.
Well, perhaps the most effective example that's being used around the world is simply automatically enrolling people into savings plans. Even plans that offer a match and favorable tax treatment, many people never seem to get around to taking what amounts to free money. If you simply enroll them automatically, enrollment rates go way up and people are better off. It's all about not forcing anybody to do anything. We call our philosophy libertarian paternalism, which admittedly is a mouthful and sounds oxymoronic, but we're all about not forcing and just helping people make better decisions by themselves.
Do you find that different countries kind of obsess about different aspects of this? And what in the UK, you just had a set of very interesting questions from our fellows. Are there a particular kind of question that you get when the UK, are we particularly worried about the paternalistic side or the libertarian side?
No, I don't think so, and I think that the reactions one gets are from both sides. So I was out the other night with a bunch of intellectuals, and I was being hit from one side about how can I be so paternalistic, and from the other side about why I'm not paternalistic enough, and that makes me think that we must have nailed it just about right.
Now, in the book, you very explicitly talk about the fact that this is a philosophy which is acceptable both to the right of centre and to the left of centre. It's a position which can fit into a whole number of ideological positions. And of course, in this country, you've been courted by David Cameron's Conservatives. Have you been kind of surprised at the take-up?
Well, certainly I had no idea it was coming, yes, I was pleasantly surprised. But I will say that there's a bill that I helped get introduced and passed in the U.S. Congress that nudged employers to adopt automatic enrollment and a form of what I call Save More Tomorrow, where saving rates are increased automatically. And that bill there were versions of that proposed by senators from the extreme right and the extreme left. So I think that idea is one that does span normal political ideologies.
The RSA is an organisation very concerned with issues around sustainability. And arguably, the single area where we most need people's behaviours to change is around sustainable use of energy. Tell me about the relevance of nudge as an approach to this sustainability challenge.
Our approach is twofold. The first is very standard economics. We think that we have to begin by getting the prices right. So a carbon tax or cap and trade, let's get the prices right and give people the right incentives to do the right thing. The second step is more behavioral, which is to make those prices more salient. People in America are up in arms about gasoline prices that in the UK seem laughably low. And they're up in arms about that because when you fill up, it's in your face how much you're paying. If we made other prices more in your face, then they would have a bigger impact, and that's the second prong of our attack. There's something that they call the ambient orb, which is just a bulb that glows, and the more energy you use, the brighter it gets. And that's just a feedback mechanism, and we've known since B.F. Skinner that if we can alter behavior by giving people feedback. So if they realize they're using so much energy, they turn the thermostat down a bit.
I think you said 40% reduction in peak time use just by seeing a light flashing telling you you're using it.
Right, quite amazing, and very low cost, and not changing any price.
Okay, well, Nudge is full of fantastic ideas like that. It's a great read. I can recommend it strongly. Richard Thaler, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.